So sorry, y'all. If anyone was checking me out just a minute ago, um, yeah, look at what we got. We got SSS Plus on challenge mode, and I was like super excited talking through the entire process, and my mic was on mute. So sorry about that, y'all. I wish someone would have let me know. Um, let's just kind of recap because it was a very good W, y'all. So, like I've said, if you're following me on this, you can do this yourself, and I can show you how to do it. I have videos on how to do it, but all we simply did was we're basically like within 5 minutes, I had a normal SSS plus mode team, and we tested them, it worked, we got the SSS plus there. Then went and revised the prompt and everything to basically, and there was some important stuff we kind of went over, right? If you're like into GPT and you want to learn how to get better answers and stuff. So like I said, this started a long time ago with I fed all of the input to GPT about what the encounter was. I said, yo, dog, take all this shit into account. And it was like, all right, bro, here's the team you should use. And we did it because I wanted to take it at face value. Um, Anybody who wants to read this full text or whatever, let me know. I can share these threads with you all. So, uh, you know, again, we do this on auto, right? So it got the W1 auto, and we're like, all right, we got there 4.6 million. Let's work on this type of setup to kind of move forward into challenge mode. Our goal is 10 million to begin with. Eventually, we're going to push for 15 million. And here's where it got a little more interesting because I asked it to give me set recommendations, stat floors, artifact recommendations, the whole works, right? And then it comes back with like, all right, here's what you should do, and like I hate the vertical scroll of GPT, so I said, give me, well, actually, before that, I said, just to be clear, you were recommending Border Coin over Cruel Mischief because I was like, why would you not, excuse me, not be using Cruel Mischief? So it was like, yeah, good catch, my bad. And I was like, all right, well, let me ask you this. Why did you make such an obvious mistake, right? You are not to take any processing shortcuts in this project, right? We want to make sure that it is pulling all of the data we need. So when I ask you to recommend items, artifacts, you are to pull a list of every. So it's like, yeah, you're right. That was my bad. It felt, and it's basically saying, hey, I fell back on default. Um, so with that correction in mind, reanalyze, let's do this, and it came up with, you know, these values, and again, I was like, I don't like, the big vertical sprawl, so I said, give me a table summary. We worked on hitting these numbers, and I was like, once again, why did you put, so just questioning it, right? You want to have that back and forth. Why'd you put Cruel Mischief on Sirmia instead of Estelle? And if Estelle isn't using Cruel Mischief, why isn't she using With a Little Friend? So this was, again, a case of it just using just default information. And, the whole idea of With a Little Friend, the artifact for Estelle, that's a more recent one, so I could understand why it wouldn't be in its, source where it would pull sources it would pull from. But I wanted to make sure it did take that into account. So it was like, yeah, my bad. Here's what it really should be. Um, and so that's what we landed on, right? So we're going to go ahead and so well, basically then, we went back and looked at the team, and if you're curious, if anybody's following along at home and you'd like to run this same team, these are the numbers that we hit, right? That's Estelle Melly Belly on with a little friend. And there's good old Sermi, her numbers. And then we got CC. Oh. Yeah, check that shit out. That's so funny. Like, we got 10 million plus in SSS, and an SSS plus in challenge mode, and Cecilia wasn't even dressed for the show, right? So let's put her back on. Let's get her extra hit piece. He has to put a hit out on someone. So health and some defense. Hey, let's go. Okay, well that would be why. So let's just find a basic ass piece we can put on for her. Yeah, that'll have to work. That's so funny. Like, it cleared it without her even having everything on. So yeah, like I said, like if you're looking for stats, that's what we ran her at, although we ran her at less. And yeah, she's on Aureus. Sermia is on Cruel Mischief. And so then we have Tam Tam. These are her numbers. And she's a pothead. And we're just gonna let it do its thing again. And we're gonna watch it. So, you know, I was watching this run initially because I wanted to see what the pain points were, if there were any failures. And then it just freaking smoked it. So yeah, we're just gonna let it crack a lack. Sorry, just checking on a few things while it's doing its thing. What is dun 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 dun. So yeah, move my alt account on this freaking side story forming I'm doing. So if anybody's just joining us, catching up, we did get the W on challenge mode. We got the SSS plus. GPT built it for us, and I was just going over the stat floors and everything to, you know, show anybody who might be interested what those numbers would look like. Let's see what my homie's up to. Nah, I'll keep him off stream. But yeah, I mean we're already at SSS, and remember this is challenge mode. also, if any of you try this on hauls, I'd love to know. A, did you use the same team? How did it work out for you? B, did you use a similar process to come up with the team? What was your team like? What were your comp? What was your comp? What were your artifacts? And any type of info you want to give me. I would love to hear any feedback about this, you guys. Mm. Ready to play some not copyright free music. So after I finish this this demo trial run through, because I want to post this on YouTube. I'm gonna, oh, there we go, switching on into damage phase. And something that I want to point out, right, is that the AI handling, the AI, what's the word I'm looking for, algorithm, whatever, how it processes what moves and skills and targets it's going to, use and select. It doesn't handle the undead ads that are in this fight, because if you kill those and there's like just one specific way you can kill them, then it's fine, whatever. We didn't get 10.5 like we did the first run, but we still got the SSS plus. But just to prove you guys that I did get that far, this was my first run on challenge mode. So yeah, I mean, that's the long and short of it, right? We're going to push. This is the first like freaking day of this, right? And we did this with GPT, so I'm taking that as a major win. And we're going to push to 15 million, but this is just a fantastic start. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stop the stream right here, 15 minutes. This will make a good bite-sized YouTube episode, and then I'm gonna fire it up with some real music.